Well, it's finally here. Say hello to the NOhting Phone 1. For this mid-range device, the brand is actually betting the success all on standing out, and it's taking that commitment all the way to the unboxing experience of the device as well, with this unique flat pack box, which honestly I have to say is a pretty nice touch. The phone slides out, and packed in right next to it is the usual instruction card and warranty card as well. And of course there's a SIM ejection tool, with NOhting adding its own unique design flair here, making it look a little bit like a transistor, which I have to say I really like. As for the phone itself, it definitely has a unique look and feel to it, with a clear glass back that shows off some of the internal components and the structure of the phone, and also its unique GLYPH LED lighting system, which we're going to get to in a minute once we get the phone set up. NOhting has also sent over one of their first-party clear bumper cases for the Phone 1. Just like the phone, it's pretty minimalistic and it fits pretty nice and snug. If you do want to keep the phone looking new after a couple of weeks of use, I definitely recommend picking up something like this so that you can show off the internals of the phone while also keeping it protected as well. When setting up the device, it's all pretty standard, but you will notice that the dark mode is enabled right from the very beginning. And then once you enter in all of your information and get to the home screen, the launcher looks and feels pretty similar to what you might get on a Pixel smartphone, with the Google search bar docked right at the bottom. And the app drawer is pretty simple and pretty snappy, I might add. But you will notice a little bit of a difference when you pull down the notification shade, with two very large icons at the very top, which kind of mirror the extra large icons that you can actually add to the home screen. But as promised, let's look at the GLYPH interface for the smartphone. You can access it from the quick toggle settings in the notification shade, or go into settings and select the GLYPH interface. You can choose between different ringtone presets here that are perfectly timed with the LED GLYPH lights on the back of the phone and the haptic feedback vibration motor on the inside. This is definitely a unique take on smartphone notification, especially for those who love to customize their devices to make sure that they're not missing the notifications that they really want and separate out the ones that they don't. But we're also here to talk about the cameras on this device as well. What you're looking at right now is the 16 megapixel selfie camera that can capture 1080p video at 30 frames per second. And then there's two cameras on the back of the phone, both of those 50 megapixels that can capture 4K video with a standard and an ultra wide. And that ultra wide has a 114-degree field of view. So now that we got the unboxing out of the way and the camera specs on this device all cleared up, let's go out and take some photos and videos with the NOhting Phone 1 to see how it actually performs in the real world. Let's take a look.
As mentioned already, video capture from the selfie camera is just limited to 1080p as opposed to the 4K video that you can get out of the rear camera. But if you do want to have 4K video for selfies, you can always just flip the camera around and use the ultra wide, which allows you to frame it pretty easily. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is using the ultra wide camera on the back of the phone to capture some selfie video. Of course, you're not able to see yourself on the device because, of course, there's no screen on the back of the phone. But with the ultra wide camera, as long as you're holding the phone right in front of you, it's pretty easy to know that you're going to be right in the center of the picture, and that wider image is going to be able to capture everything around you as well.
Now, so far we've taken a look at how the cameras perform in daylight situations, but now that it's getting a little bit darker, I thought it'd be a good time to go out and take some low light shots to see how the NOhting Phone 1 performs in low light conditions. It looks like we got here just at the right time. We missed sunset by a couple of minutes, but this is absolutely beautiful. At this point, we still have plenty of light to work with, but you can definitely see the graininess starting to settle in for this front-facing camera on the NOhting Phone 1. But we are going to wait a little bit longer to see how this performs when it gets darker than this, because as you can see behind me, there's still plenty of light from the sunset that was a couple of minutes ago. This gives you a better representation of what low light video capture is like with the selfie camera. Right now I'm under some pretty intense lights here, but if I go around the corner, it gets pretty dark right around here. So if you don't have a whole lot of light sources to work with, as you can see, it gets extremely grainy, but as you step back into the light, the video gets much better. Of course, switching over to the main cameras on the back of the NOhting Phone 1 is always going to give you the best results you can get in low light situations like this. Not definitely the ultra wide, but the main camera itself. Now, you do have to have a selfie stick or something to hold the phone a little bit further away from you if you're going to be using that main camera, since you don't want your arm in the way all the time. But the results can actually turn out pretty good if you have the right tools. And if you do find yourself in a situation where the low light conditions are just a little bit too dark for what you really want, you can actually use the GLYPH lights on the back of the NOhting Phone 1 to give yourself a little bit of a fill light, which I'm going to show you right now. So first off, I'm showing off the flash on the back of the phone to give you an idea of what it is like to record video with that turned on. But right now, I'm going to switch over to the GLYPH light. And this here is with the GLYPH light turned on. As you can see, it's just bright enough to fill in my face just a little bit more in low light conditions like this when you're recording video. Definitely a nice feature to have, especially when you consider the price of this device. There's really nothing else on the market like it, even if you look at the $1,300 range. But for a $450 device, it's definitely something that a lot of people will be interested in. And that's going to do it for this initial camera test with the NOhting Phone 1. So far, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the results, both in daylight and low light conditions like this. The smartphone performs incredibly well. When they've actually done what we've told a lot of manufacturers to do over the last couple of years is drop all those extra cameras on the back of your budget or mid-range devices with those macro cameras and those depth sensors, and actually just give us two cameras that perform incredibly well. And I think the results speak for themselves here. Let me know what you think of the photos and the videos captured with the NOhting Phone 1 down in the comments, and whether or not you'd use this device to capture your own photos and videos on a day-to-day basis. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.